Hello everyone, my name is Beansprout, and today we're going to be talking about the next Doom game. Because the next Doom game has been said to be pretty different to Doom Eternal, and it's said to be more like a monster truck than it is a race car. But what does that mean? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video, because I do think the idea of the next Doom game being a bit slower than Doom Eternal and a bit heavier is a really good idea. Of course, I absolutely love Doom Eternal, but I want this next game to get the same kind of treatment, where it's very different to the game that came before it, and id Software is a special company. Most companies would be pretty scared to do something very different to what they did before, especially in the same series. But id Software is in the special case where they really don't care. So anyway, let's dive into the main things that this monster truck should include. First of all, I wanted to mention heavier weapons. But what does that mean? By heavier weapons, I mean more impactful, hard-hitting stuff. Ways they could do this is by beefing up the sound effects, and making the travel time for projectiles on weapons such as the rocket launcher a lot faster. I think a good example of what a rocket launcher should sound like is Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's rocket launcher sounds great, just listen to it.
Eliminate the targets.
That's the kind of heavy weapon sounds that I want to hear in the next Doom game. Of course, I don't want the sounds to be too overpowering as to not ruin the music, but I just think they should sound a bit more beefy. Because if I'm being honest, Doom Eternal's weapons don't have the boom that they should. And that is partially so that the music can stand out without bursting your eardrums. Speaking of music, so, whenever the next Doom game's been mentioned, I've seen a lot of discussion about the gameplay, but I've never really seen people talking about the music. I personally really hope that they bring back Andrew Hulshult and David Levy to do the music for the next Doom game. I think the heavier style of something like the Ancient Gods Part 1 would fit the next Doom game a lot more than Mick Gordon's smooth, synthy type music. It needs to make you feel like a tank. A song like Blood Swamp's Heavy Fighting is a perfect example of what I mean. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. But before we get into that next point, I'd like to kindly ask if you're enjoying the video so far that you give it a like, and if you're really enjoying the video, then consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel and keeps me motivated to keep making more videos like this one. Along with that, I also have a merch store if you'd like to further support the channel. The link to that will be in the pinned comment and the description. Thank you for your time. Now let's get back to the video. Enemy reactions and faltering is something that's very important to Doom Eternal, and I think it'll be even more important in a slower paced, heavier game like the next Doom game. Doom Eternal's AI is absolutely phenomenal, and the way they react to the player is nothing short of insane. The AI is generally pretty smart, and their animations give off the feeling that they really are a living, breathing demon, and that's something I really like about them. And I would very much like to see id Software build off of that in the next game, especially with the way they falter and the way they react to getting hit by stuff. I'd like to see the demons realistically fall to the floor, and even stack up if they end up in the situation where multiple have been killed right on top of each other. An example of this being done in game is something like the Resident Evil 2 remake, where if you kill a zombie and it lands on top of another dead zombie, it won't clip through it, it will just stay on top of it, and this is something that you don't really see in a lot of games. It's to the point where in the Resident Evil 3 remake, they completely removed this feature, which boggles my mind. But yeah, anyway, talking about breaking stuff and destruction and all that, let's move on to, well, the destruction. So yeah, one of the things that we know already is that this game is probably going to be a lot more destructive than Doom Eternal. At the moment, we still don't know what they mean by that, but I am eagerly awaiting to find out. First thing to do with this is the destructible demon system. That needs to come back. It was incredibly impressive when we found out that the more you shot a demon, the more it would degrade. And it wasn't something just like getting more and more bloody, it actually lost parts of its body. And that type of technology was extremely impressive. and I personally think they should bring it back and even better. Maybe they could even do something like what Dead Space did, where if you shot at a certain enemy in its leg, then it would lose that leg, and menacingly crawling towards you like a necromorph in Dead Space. I personally think that would be so cool, and that kind of innovation in technology is something that id Software has always been good at. But what about the environment? Fellow YouTuber Horde Mode Gaming did mention that destructible environments would be really cool.
So think about how much cooler it would be to have the ability to destroy the arena as you fight. Being able to completely transform the arena around you while also controlling the way the demons can fight against you would give you complete control over every aspect of the experience. You wouldn't even need something like the meat hook to fly into the air and do combos because you could just carve your own path into the air.
We've already seen being able to punch through certain walls in Doom Eternal, but imagine the arena getting broken and crumbling apart as you fight. I personally think that would be really cool. Like the kind of destruction you'd expect to see from a game like Battlefield. No, not Battlefield 2042, the Battlefield games that actually had good destruction. But anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. If you enjoyed the video, then I'd recommend liking and subscribing, along with checking out my merch store. I also have a Twitter and a Discord that I would be very happy if you checked out. All of this is linked down in the pinned comment or the description, so you can feel free to check any of it out. I also stream on Fridays, and it might be moving to Saturdays. But anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, have a nice day.